Hello everybody, welcome to our Connecticut River Conservancy's Trash Talk episode number 3. For those of you who don't know me, I feel like I know all of you guys already, so I shouldn't need to introduce myself, but for anyone I don't know out there yet, my name is Angie. I'm the Outreach and Events Director here at Connecticut River Conservancy, and welcome. Welcome to all of our friends who are watching today, and thanks for tuning in to our Trash Talk video series. Today we are talking about Styrofoam. This stuff. So, Styrofoam, we find it a lot during our Source to Sea cleanup. And for those of you who aren't familiar, what is the Source to Sea cleanup? Well, Connecticut River Conservancy is a nonprofit environmental nonprofit, and we work to protect the whole length of the Connecticut River. So that's all 4 river states, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Hampshire, and Vermont, from the source of the Connecticut River near the Canadian border, all the way down to the sea at Long Island Sound. And the Source to Sea cleanup is one of the biggest things that we do every year to keep our rivers clean and help protect our rivers. As I mentioned, we do it every year, every fall. It's coming up this year on September 28th and 29th, and there's still time for you to join us. This Trash Talk series is a way to get you guys excited about the cleanup and informed before you get out there to pick up trash. The Source to Sea cleanup has been happening for 22 years, and every year we have over 2,000 people who come out and join us each fall, and they pick up trash at a river or a stream or a boat launch or any number of locations near them in their own backyard. We have about 100 of these groups who are all up and down the 4 states of the Connecticut River, and in one weekend they all come together and work together to clean up our rivers. It's really amazing and inspiring. So like I said, there's still time for you to get involved, and we would love to have you join us. You can visit our website at ctriver.org/cleanup, and there you will find a button that says join a group, and you'll see a map, and there you can find a group near you that is welcoming new volunteers. So come on out and join us next weekend, 28th and 29th, for the Source to Sea cleanup. But back to the topic at hand, Styrofoam. A lot of people may not realize that Styrofoam is a type of plastic. And so what's wrong with Styrofoam? Well, it has the same problems that all the other types of plastic have in our rivers. It doesn't ever fully break down in our rivers. Once it's in there, it might change shape, it might get smaller, but it's always going to be plastic at its base, and that's not good for our rivers. One of the biggest problems that a lot of us have seen pictures in the news is that wildlife get a hold of this plastic when it's in our rivers. They might think it's food, and that's not good for them. We see pictures where they cut open the bellies and they're full of trash and plastic in there, and they die from that. So that's one reason why Styrofoam and other plastics are not good for our rivers. We took a sample of what some broken down bits of Styrofoam in our rivers look like, and you can see that here. So you can kind of see in there's some blue bits, some gray bits. Some of it still looks like Styrofoam, and some of it doesn't so much anymore. Once it's been in the water for a little while, you can see that it kind of gets to have some dirt stuck to it, and it might have some algae growing on it, and you can see how that might start to look like food to wildlife, and so they'll eat up bits like that, and that can be very harmful to them. So Styrofoam and plastic in our rivers are just not good. So what are we going to do about it? Well, we've been working with our thousands of volunteers for 22 years to pull trash out of our rivers, and we know that cleaning up our rivers year after year after year is not the solution, because we keep finding this trash out there year after year after year. So that's an indication to us that trash is a bigger problem than just litter bugs and slobs. And it needs a bigger solution than people going out year after year to clean up after them. So that's what we're working on this year, is to find those bigger solutions, those solutions that are going to put an end to this trash problem and help us put us out of the business of cleaning up trash once and for all. So how can we do that, especially with Styrofoam? You know, a lot of folks, when we mention Styrofoam, you might think about, maybe a Styrofoam cooler that you take out with you on your boat or for fun, and Styrofoam cups that you might get, coffee cups or others from to-go places, fast food restaurants. But one thing that a lot of folks don't think about is docks. And actually, you can see I'm sitting here on a dock. I'm in Northampton, right near the Connecticut River Greenway State Park, right near Route 9. You can hear some of the traffic there. And we've got the beautiful Connecticut River behind me here, and you can see that's the rail trail. And I'm sitting on a dock. And this is a great dock because if you can see here, it's hard plastic and it's all enclosed. Some docks that are out there don't look quite as good as this one, and they might actually have chunks of styrofoam like this underneath the dock, and that's what's helping keep the dock afloat. Well, what happens when you have styrofoam like this in our rivers is that over time, you can see the edges, they'll start to, break down, and these bits will come off into our rivers and end up looking like this. These bits never, like I said, they never break down, they never go away. So one of the things that we are proposing this year to help keep styrofoam out of our rivers is to replace the styrofoam dock floats. Let's get rid of these things that are actually sitting in our rivers, in our water all day during the summer and breaking down slowly bit by bit. Let's get that out of there. We don't need to have this in our rivers. We don't need to have trash in our rivers at all. It doesn't have to be this way, and that's why we're talking about solutions this year. So one quick and easy solution is to get rid of styrofoam dock supports in our rivers. We are hoping that dock owners will voluntarily replace their dock floats with something better. So that might mean a dock like this one right here that you see behind me, that's all enclosed. Either it doesn't use styrofoam at all, or if there is styrofoam in there, it's kind of wrapped in a way that the styrofoam is enclosed, and if little bits of it break off, they're not gonna float away. Where do they end up when they float away? Well, they travel downriver, downstream, and they will end up in the Long Island Sound. They'll end up in the Atlantic Ocean. They'll become part of those large floating garbage patches that we've all heard about. But we can stop that by keeping that trash right here, keeping it enclosed, or keeping it out of the rivers in the first place. We can use things like plastic jugs to help keep our docks afloat, or other flotation devices. So there's lots of other options, and we hope that dock owners will voluntarily take that step. We are also going to be working with the states, the river states, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, and Connecticut, and see if there's a way that they can require this when they issue new dock permits. So requiring the use of something better than styrofoam that breaks apart in our rivers. Our trash campaign, like I mentioned, it's all about stopping trash before it starts. That might be backwards to you guys. But stopping trash before it starts, that's what we want to do here this year. And we're going to be working with governments, businesses, manufacturers to make that change. So what are we asking them to do? Well, we want them to do their part. You've been out here for 22 years. We've been out here for 22 years, cleaning up trash year after year after year. And we want them to do their part. It's about time that they do their part. So we want them to step up and implement solutions like what we've just talked about, keeping these styrofoam dock floats out of our rivers and other solutions that you can find on our website. We want them to implement these solutions so that we can stop trash in our rivers once and for all. That's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort. And what we need to do is completely rethink how we use plastic in our everyday lives. So yeah, that's a big task, and it's going to take some time. We want to propose using things like bioplastics. These are things that are, instead of being made out of petroleum like normal plastic is, it's made out of plant-based products, or maybe it's compostable. You can also choose things besides plastic. So maybe, like I mentioned, instead of using styrofoam dock floats for your dock, you can use plastic jugs. Instead of a styrofoam coffee cup, bring a reusable coffee cup, or use a paper cup. Instead of a plastic bag, bring a reusable cloth bag. So there are other alternatives besides plastics. And like I mentioned, the first step is to take that voluntary step. If you own a dock, or if you are using plastic in your life, if you're a business who has plastic packaging or plastic cups, we want you to voluntarily take that step to change and do the right thing, because it doesn't have to be this way. Trash doesn't have to be in our rivers. We don't have to be fishing little bits of styrofoam like this out of our rivers. So let's do the right thing voluntarily. And when that doesn't work, let's look at things like bans. We've had a number of towns in the Connecticut River watershed who have passed plastic bag or plastic cup bans. We've had some who've passed polystyrene bans, which polystyrene is just another name for styrofoam here. So those are some ways that we can help keep plastic as not even an option for people to use in our towns. And certainly that's a secondary option. We want people to take that step voluntarily first, and then we'll look at banning them. And we also need to look at improving our recycling system. So what can we do with this stuff when it's already produced and already manufactured and out there in our world? Let's make sure that there's a safe place where we can responsibly put that so it doesn't end up in our rivers or in our landfills. So the campaign that I mentioned, Stop Trash Before It Starts, you can head to our website and learn more about the plastic problem. You can also learn more about our trash tire problem. We want you to join us. We need you to join us in telling government, businesses, and manufacturers that it's time for them to do their part. We, as their constituents, and we, as their customers, expect them to do better, to do their part in helping solve this problem. So you can join us in telling them that by signing our petition. If you go to ctriver.org/cleanup, ctriver.org/take action, you can find our petition there, and we invite you to sign that petition. We will take that list of names and we will go to our legislators in all 4 states, and we will speak with them about the trash problems, and we'll give them some solutions that they can actually implement to make a change. You can also show the problem. So, this view right here is so beautiful of our river, but we know that when we get out there into the weeds and onto the riverbanks, it doesn't always look like that. We find stuff like styrofoam, we find stuff like plastics, and we find stuff like tires. Well, we need to show them that, because at first glance, our rivers are beautiful and we want to keep them that way. But we got to show the dirty truth. We got to show the trash problem. So send us your pictures. We have a photo contest running on our website right now. You can head on over to ctriver.org/take action and submit your photos there. And those photos will join your signatures on our petition to show the problem and tell our decision makers to do better. It's time for them to do better. And you can also join us for some trash talk events. Come meet with us and talk to us face to face. I know you're out there watching me right now, but I can't hear you. We want to hear you. We want to hear from you. What are your concerns? What do you care about the river? What is your favorite memory of the river? What is your connection to the river? What are your worries and your concerns for the river? What are your ideas to make the river better and help solve this trash problem? So come talk to us at these trash talk events. We are going to hold one in each state: New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. And we're going to have one a week throughout the month of October this year. And we invite you to come out and join us to a trash talk near you and tell us what you think. Tell us what we can do. And learn from us about what it is that we at Connecticut River Conservancy are proposing to do to help solve these problems, and how you can get involved in that action. So RSVP and find the locations of those at ctriver.org/cleanup. And once again, please come on out and join us for the Source to Sea cleanup on September 28th and 29th. Find a group near you to join at ctriver.org/cleanup. Thank you so much for tuning in to Trash Talk episode number 3 and talking about styrofoam with me. I hope to see you guys all out at the Source to Sea cleanup next weekend. Thanks.